The forest has always been a peaceful place for many. People go hiking and camping to escape their daily lives and find calm in nature. But sometimes, the quiet trees hide dark secrets. And those who go too deep may never come back the same. Our first story is about a man named Tyler. He loved hiking alone. It gave him peace, and he enjoyed the silence of the woods. One weekend, he decided to try a new trail in a national forest he had never explored. It was a long trail, and the sun was already going down when he started. But Tyler didn't care. He had his flashlight, water, and some food in his backpack. He had camped before and felt confident. As he walked deeper into the forest, he felt something strange. The trail was too quiet. No birds, no rustling leaves, not even wind. Just silence. First, he thought it was normal. Maybe this part of the forest was just calm. But then he noticed something else. The trees all looked the same, tall, thin, and packed closely together. He walked for what felt like hours, and everything looked unchanged. It was like he wasn't moving at all. He checked his phone. No signal. The GPS wasn't working either. He felt a little nervous but kept walking, hoping he'd find a clearing to set up camp. As darkness fell, he found a small flat area and quickly pitched his tent. The unease in his chest was growing. He told himself it was just the loneliness of hiking alone. He had done this before. That night, as he lay in his sleeping bag, he heard something outside. It wasn't an animal. It was slow, dragging steps. Crunch, 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 like something heavy walking in circles around his tent. He froze. His hand slowly reached for his flashlight, but he didn't dare unzip the tent. The steps stopped right outside. Then silence. He waited. 5 minutes. 10. Nothing. Suddenly, the tent fabric near his head moved inward, like a hand pressing against it from the outside. Tyler jumped back and held his breath. There was no voice, no animal sound, just the soft push of something touching the tent wall. Then it stopped. He sat there all night, clutching his flashlight, waiting for morning. When the sun came up, he quickly unzipped the tent and stepped out. No tracks, no signs of anything. But when he turned to look at his tent, there were 4 long scratch marks running down one side. Deep, like claws. He grabbed his stuff and ran back toward the trail. But every way he turned, the forest looked the same. Trees, trees, trees. He walked for hours, panicking. Then, finally, he saw something strange in the distance. An old wooden sign, half buried in the dirt. He walked over and brushed off the dust. The sign was old and cracked, but he could barely read what it said. Do not enter. Restricted forest land. He hadn't seen that sign when he came in. It was like he had entered a place that didn't want to be found. He followed the direction the sign faced and, after a while, finally reached the edge of the forest. When he returned to his car, it was covered in leaves and dirt, like it had been there for weeks. But he had only been gone one night. To this day, Tyler refuses to hike alone, and he never talks about what really happened that night in the tent. Our second story comes from a couple named Rachel and Dean. They loved the outdoors and would often go camping with their dog, Milo. One summer, they decided to explore a lesser-known campground deep in the mountains. It was remote, quiet, and perfect for a weekend getaway. The first day was great. They set up camp near a small creek, cooked some food, and sat by the fire. As night fell, they listened to the sounds of frogs and crickets. Milo barked a few times at the trees, but they thought he was just reacting to animals. That night, Rachel woke up around 2 a.m. Milo was growling. Not barking, growling low and deep, staring at the tent wall. Dean woke up too and whispered, probably a raccoon or something. But Milo wasn't growling at the ground. His eyes were locked on the top of the tent, like he saw something standing over it. Then they heard it. A whisper. It wasn't coming from far away. It was right above them. A soft, scratchy whisper, like someone dragging their voice along the fabric. Let me in. Whisper. It wasn't coming from far away. It was right above them. A soft, scratchy whisper, like someone dragging their voice along the fabric. Let me in. Rachel's heart was racing. She covered her mouth with her hand. Dean slowly reached for a small camping axe beside his bag. The whisper stopped. For a few minutes, nothing happened. Then they saw it. A shadow passing over the tent. It was tall, much taller than a person. And it didn't walk. It floated. Dean grabbed Milo and told Rachel, "We're leaving. Now." They burst out of the tent, and for a second, Rachel swore she saw something standing behind a tree. A figure, pale, long-limbed, with hollow eyes. They didn't look back. They ran, following the dirt road they came in on, using their phone flashlight to guide the way. Milo kept looking back and growling, his tail between his legs. Took them an hour to reach their car. When they got in, Rachel turned to Dean and asked, "Did you hear what it said?" Dean nodded slowly. They never told anyone else about it. But Rachel admitted later that the whisper didn't sound angry. It sounded sad, like something lost, begging to come home. Our third story is from a man named Elliot. He was a survival expert who often camped deep in the woods, away from trails and people. He filmed his trips for his small YouTube channel and gave survival tips to viewers. One fall, he went into a forest known for being cursed by locals. Of course, he didn't believe in any of that. He thought it would make an interesting theme for a video. He planned to stay 3 nights and document the whole experience. The first night was fine. He made a fire, cooked his food, and joked about the forest curse on camera. But later that night, he heard a sound he couldn't explain. A bell. A small, metallic ringing sound. Like an old-school bell or a wind chime. But there were no buildings around. No wind. Just the soft, slow sound of a bell swinging. He got up and walked toward the sound, recording the whole time. The bell stopped. When he played it back, the video showed something that made his blood run cold. While he had been gone checking the bell, the camera had captured something moving around his tent. A shape, not quite human. It was hunched, crawling, but tall when it stood. It sniffed the tent and then stared directly into the camera. But it had no face, just skin. Smooth, stretched skin. Elliot packed up and left before the sun rose. He never uploaded that video. He deleted it. But he never went camping again. He still warns people, some forests don't want you there, and they'll show you why. The woods can be beautiful, but when the sun sets and the night creeps in, you never know what's waiting just beyond the trees. Be careful where you camp, and never ignore that feeling in your gut when the forest goes quiet, because sometimes you're not alone.